In this video, I'm going to be talking about 3 things that made me a millionaire and 1 thing that almost ruined our entire property portfolio. The first thing on our list is living below our means. Both Emily and I are quite good savers. I'm probably the better saver between the two of us, but this comes out of lived experience and working towards your goals. I still remember as a child, our parents gave us a piggy bank. We were taught to try and save our money. My parents did an amazing job of teaching us about money habits. The one thing that always stuck with me is if I could save $500, my parents would be willing to match that and open a bank account with us at CBA. And by about the ages of 12 or 13, I was able to save my $500 by getting some birthday money together, by doing a few jobs around the house and helping people out. And so I was able to save that first $500, which was therefore matched by my parents with another $500 and a bank account opened. Now, to some people, that might seem like a lot of money or a little bit of money, but for me, it was about the habits. Not trying to steal the money out of our money tin too often, although I did want to go down to the shops and buy some lollies every weekend. It was more about the habit of getting into saving and building your wealth over time. When it came to living below our means, Emily and I took that into our marriage. So I got married at the ripe old age of 21 and Emily was 20. And our first place was a hole. It was around $320 per week in terms of rent, but we wanted to live below our means. I was only earning about $45,000 plus super in my very first full-time job, and Emily was working part-time for about $30,000 per year. So based on that, we decided not to go for $450 per week, not for $500 per week rent on a nice apartment. We went for a cruddy apartment in a location that we loved in an area called Holland Park here in Brisbane and enjoyed our time there, but we lived below our means. We spent a little bit of money eating out, but most of our time cooking at home and saving our money. Now, our lifestyle has inflated as we've earned more money. It's pretty natural to occur. We've moved to nicer apartments over time and eventually bought our own home and renovated to add value and create nicer spaces. But as our money grew, we tried to keep our expenses at a minimum and again, be diligent with our funds. This leads me into point number 2 in terms of our wealth creation in making us a millionaire was leveraging living below our means and investing in real estate. A lot of you might have heard our story as real estate investors, but I'll give you the high level recap. We bought our first property for $800K using a $66,000 deposit. We then saved our money that we were continuing to earn from our day jobs and used that money over a 6 to 12 to 18 month period to renovate, upgrade a kitchen, upgrade a bathroom, throw some paint on the walls, and add value to our very first home. We again rented out some of the rooms to make the rent a little bit cheaper for us over time, and then we were able to leverage our first property to buy our second. That was the Baby Queenslander, which you can see on YouTube. There's a whole renovation series on YouTube breaking down the Baby Queenslander. And then our third property, which was the Shrivel Gable Queenslander, which was our own home. We bought these properties in 2018, 2 properties in 2020, and finally bought our 4th property for $1.4 million in Coffs Harbour in December 2021. So over a space of 4 years, we went from 0 in property to $5 million worth of assets. Now, this came out of my background as a chartered accountant, understanding the finances, understanding how to build a property portfolio, from leveraging off mentors, from doing a lot of podcast listening in the gym and while, doing chores around the house, and reading a few investing books too. So rather than buying and selling properties, we were able to accumulate our asset base, renovate every deal to fast track our journey towards becoming paper millionaires, or millionaires on paper. Now, this leads me into point number 3, which was actually focusing on my career and business goals. The best way for you to invest in property or invest in assets is to actually generate the income and the savings. Living below your means is great, but if you can earn $100,000 more in this financial year, then pretty much all of that money can go towards investments. If you're continuing to live below your means and stay at the same standard and not let your living expenses creep up, if you earn that extra 100K. What most Australians will do is they'll earn that 100K and then they'll go and spend 80 of it. rather than keeping the 100K and using those funds to go into their investments. And that's one thing Emily and I have been great at doing, is increasing our active income. I did this through my roles as a chartered accountant, and then in my business in the last few years, in growing our business, growing our team. We now have 4 staff members on contract, and growing your active income is one of the best ways to generate more passive income. If you can get that extra 100 grand, extra 200 grand in your day job or in your business, that's where you can create more active wealth and turn that into passive wealth over time. So getting my chartered accountant status really paid off. Yes, I might have earned 45K in my first year, 50K in my second year, 60K in my third year, but my earnings went up significantly after my first 3 years. 80, 100K, 130K, and then a lot more than that after growing and building our business and building our property portfolio. So it's about building on your career and creating more active income to generate that and turn it into passive income. Now, at the start of this video, I promised I'd talk about one thing that almost ruined our property portfolio, and that was dealing with the wrong team members. A mortgage broker almost broke apart our portfolio as we were building it by denying us when we had a property under contract 7 days into a 14-day finance clause. Now, these guys are big YouTubers. We haven't heard from them since. And they were mortgage brokers that said they could do the job for us. We gave them all of our financials. After signing a contract on a property, 7 days in, they said, sorry, your property portfolio is too difficult. We can't help you anymore. But thankfully, CBA came to the rescue. CBA was able to get our financing done within a 7-day period, or about 10 days in the end, so we could buy our triple gable Queenslander, which is currently our own home. If we hadn't bought that property, we would have missed out on hundreds of thousands of dollars of growth. We bought that asset with termites, with smoke infestation, with orange peeling walls, with floors that had borer damage through them. But that asset is in a prime location on the south side of Brisbane. And we're also going to be spending $300,000 to $500,000 in the next few months or the next year to add value to that asset, to turn it from a 2-bed, 1-bath property into a 5-bed, 3-bath home. So working with the wrong broker and working with the wrong people almost ruined our property portfolio. The bonus that I could add on that is we didn't get invested into crypto or shares significantly. I have some shares in my superannuation, but we're mainly in property in our personal assets. And the reason is I don't understand shares as well as I understand property. If you can be skilled in an area, if you really understand crypto or you really understand shares and market caps and liquidity and how to leverage your money to create more wealth in the share market or in the crypto market, absolutely go for it. But for me, I don't understand those assets intricately. I don't understand how I can add value to them or leverage them easily. So for me, investing in property where I could leverage my money, I could add value to the property, I can touch, see, and feel the property, that was my investment strategy. So you've got to work out where your skill set lies, and my background as a chartered accountant and building our property portfolio is in property. So work out where your skill set is and where your risk profile sits to invest in the right assets for you. Emily and I have been very lucky that we haven't made any catastrophic financial decisions that have ruined our property portfolio or caused us to make significant losses. Most of our losses have been fairly small or more lost opportunities. I might have lost $3,000 to $5,000 on share investing in our early investing journey, or I might have lost a lot of time in working on projects that haven't paid off. Or when I was in my early 20s, I tried different businesses that weren't necessarily successful. We tried a clothing company, which failed spectacularly in our early 20s. The end goal for Emily and I was not about the money. It was about the choices. It was about the choice to choose what we do for work, choose who we spend time with, give back to our church and our community. So for us, it was about the choices rather than the money. The money enabled us to create more choices in our lives. We didn't necessarily want to go out and have luxury things. We still want to live below our means, which was the very first point, and still want to live a fairly basic life, probably to most people's standards. So you need to be patient and diligent in building that asset base, but it will come and you can become a property millionaire. Most people who become a millionaire will be a millionaire via real estate or business. That's really the two main avenues that most Australians and most people across the world become millionaires. If you're looking to buy a property here in the Southeast Queensland market, then head over to purposeproperty.com.au to book in a free strategy session with myself. We'll sit down for around half an hour, have a chat about your situation, have a chat about what we do here in the Greater Brisbane market, and how we can help you secure your next asset, whether it's your own home or whether it's an investment property. Otherwise, thanks for sticking around to the end of this video. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.